Welcome, punters. We're back for another episode of Tipster. Of course, I have Michael Gannon here in his lumberjack attire.
Yeah, fresh off the farm.
He's fresh off the farm.
It's been a good couple of weeks.
Where'd you pull that one out of, mate? That shirt?
Just probably, I don't know, mate.
Is that out of your punting profits over the winter punting, winter carnival?
Been a tough winter. Haven't done washing for about 6 weeks, so this is where we're at.
I'll get the pig on the nose. Welcome, punters. We've got, of course, it's July, so that means that we're going to look at the winners, the big winners in June. It's halfway through the year, Mike, so we're also going to be looking at the race for Tipster of the Year.
How good's that?
Yeah, halfway through.
Keen to get on that one.
Yeah, look, and it's an interesting one. And look, again, bringing that punter versus media theme out.
Yep.
So we're going to be looking at who's winning the race or who won the race in June.
Who got up last time?
I think, look, the punters won 2-1.
Okay.
Because we went state by state, right? And this time we're just going to say June Tipsters of the Year. How did the punters go versus the media?
Fantastic. We've got a tipster in focus.
Yeah, big one. Brendan Delaney.
Outstanding. He's low flying.
He's low flying and had a massive Sunday a couple of Sundays ago.
How good.
Yeah, we'll reveal all. Then we're going to look at something called Followability, which basically, whether they're winning or not, how much pain do you get in between the wins? Like, how long do you have to wait for them to win? So we're going to look at some stats that we've got on the site.
Sounds good.
That help you find that out. And yeah, look, of course, we're going to close and we'll have mixed moral. So don't go away. Remember, follow the button down below and you'll be notified as soon as this show drops.
Yeah, subscribe.
And don't go away. We've got a lot of great stuff coming. So this is the bit where we see whose horse racing tips fired in June. And Mike, we're going to start with the media and just see who topped it. And this is our top 5. Up there, new name. We started tracking the guys at SEN not so long ago, and here's a name that we haven't presented on this show before, Cody Lane.
Yeah, he's flying.
Yeah. And,
impressive.
Very impressive. Great pot there, 133% at $6.98 average price. Got to be happy with that.
What's he doing his best work in Sydney?
Yeah, so he is the Sydney specialist, basically, with SEN Track. Good. Guys over there. Picked up an internship there. Had a bit of a chat to Cody and learned that, look, you know, speed maps, video replays, all that sort of stuff, but particular interest in track bias. Now,
yeah, awesome.
That's a topic that
Love
people...
it. Well,
people get a bit funny when you start, no track bias and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's because they don't do the research. It's not that bloody hard. It's got historical data. Cody knows all about it.
Well, there we go.
I love it.
And that's what I think's going on here, just talking to Cody. It sounds like, you know, he's really looking at the patterns and looking at past history and so forth.
Got my vote, Cody. Well done.
So there we go. So there's one to look out for. Smart, young analyst there, focusing on Sydney. Lives at Mornington, so probably has a clue about Melbourne
That's
as well.
bad luck, but anyway.
Well, nice place, Mornington. Chris Blackwell, he's in second. Blackie was tipster of the month in January. And we see him here now, second again. Having a big year.
Yeah.
A very big year.
How's he going?
Tony Rickards.
How big is his bank balance? Tony Rickards. That our mate that was on the show from SBS, wasn't it? Oh, Tony.
Yeah. Porno was a movie. I actually watched that movie since we spoke last.
I'm not sure.
Not bad. Tony goes well. And Brett Davis.
Yep.
SA caller with Sky Racing. He's had another bumper one.
He was in Hong Kong for a while, right?
He was in Hong Kong for a while. Brett came up on our show about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So he's having a good year. And while we're on the subject about SA form analyst, James Jordan from racing.com.
Yeah. He's going all right.
He was going well 3 or 4 weeks ago, still going well. So you're looking at some pretty solid performance.
Speaking of being on the farm, he was on the farm as well, getting chased by a goat up a tree, I'm pretty sure, last time we spoke to him.
That's right. When we did the interview with him,
all sorts.
He sounded a bit funny for a point there, and we spoke to him after the interview, and he said that he was a bit worried. Was it a goat? Or
halfway up a tree, I don't know, a bull or something. Anyway, that's
not
not wrong with the story, but fantastic.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's
it's great.
What we're going to do is just flick over now to Tipster of the Month,
Yeah.
and we actually get 2 punters that come into the mix. So dominated by media this week, this month in June. So media have done very, very well. And the 2, there's a new name. Don't know much about him. Isa Theo.
Could be Isaiah Yo. You never know.
No, I don't think that's
Undercover.
Isaiah Yo.
No.
But yeah, is it Theo or Isa Theo?
Either way, he's flying.
But the other punter there, Cyber Yang, he is pretty active there on Twitter.
Yep.
Goes really well. I'm sure people who are on Twitter have probably seen his posts. And look, he's had a cracker.
Yeah, up he goes.
And he goes well. He's got a pro label next to him. You don't get that easy.
Outstanding.
73% profit on turnover. And look at that nice price of $7.66. Got to be happy. Of course, we've seen those other media guys, so this is merging the two together. These are the horse racing tips that you wanted to be following in June. So one thing obviously is very special about thegreattipoff.com is we bring the media tipsters together with punters, pro punters, blokes just having a go, girls just having a go. And of course, what you saw before was the leaderboard with the media and the punters. So what we're going to do and keep this going is to look at who actually won the month. Did the media win the month or did the punters win the month? And so we're taking the top 5 in each and we're going to see how they actually perform.
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go. So just going through some of the punters, because we didn't show the top 5 for the punters. We've got a couple extra names there appearing to make up that top 5, in particular Justin Bacardador.
Yeah, Justin tips over in WA.
Yeah.
He also been chiming in with some free best bets on a Saturday. So if you want to get his mail nice and early for a Saturday, you better pick that up on the site.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we've got a couple of others there as well.
A couple of others, and of course Justin's had a ripping month. So here are the numbers. Now it's an interesting one because the punters have almost doubled and some the number of tips from the media. So look, as you'd appreciate, the more tips that go in, the likelihood of the profit on turnover as a percentage going down. So we of course focus on the cash profit.
What's in the skyrocket's what we're after.
That's it. So the punters get the victory. And I think last time we mentioned there was 2-1 in the States.
Yeah, and the punters are shitting it in again.
Punters are shitting it in again.
Lift media.
So our tipster in focus this week, Mike, is, look, not only is he a talented form analyst, but also a very talented race caller. Calls the dogs, calls the trots, and calls the GGs.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And
can find a winner.
Can find a winner.
Oh,
I mean, we're going to talk a bit more about this bloke, and that is, of course, Brendan Delaney, a bit more in the program. But the big news is Ballarat, a couple of Sundays ago, he does it. It's almost like, you're a golfer? What's the holy grail in golf?
59.
Oh, I was going to say, like, what about that other thing called a hole-in-one or something?
You can't have 7 hole-in-ones.
You get them everywhere. Yeah. But I call this the hole-in-one, mate.
Yeah.
Like he 7 out of 7, tips the card.
Pretty impressive. How many times do you tip the card?
Never. Not even close. But the great thing is, this is not a flash in the pan, and you're going to see and hear more about that as we go. One of the most talented form analysts in the country.
Good stuff.
Brendan Delaney, let's talk to him.
G'day, Brendan. How you going, mate?
Very well, thank you, Damian.
That's the way, mate. Look, firstly, congratulations on tipping the card at Ballarat a few Sundays ago. Did you manage to get your own cash on some of those winners?
I did get a couple. I was pretty keen on the 2 McAvoy horses that won early on in the card. I thought Nassim, the second one, had raced pretty well on a heavy track and getting onto the dry, and Damian Lane was going for one ride for that one. And the first one, Linda Meach, had gone to St Arnaud, I think, to jump out the first winner, and she was going to Ballarat for one. So they looked nice enough horses in not overly strong races, and when you've got the quality of Damian Lane and Linda Meach going for one each, I was happy to throw them in a double. And when I was 5 from 5, I thought, well, I better have something on the roughest one of the day. So I got enough for a few beers out of the one later on in the card at double figures.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, look, I think that was sort of certainly noted that the odds range across those 7 winners was, quite extensive, and I think punters noted that as well. Certainly, social media was a buzz, mate. I mean, is that the first time you've tipped or backed the entire card before?
Yeah, first time I've tipped the card. I got pretty close a long time ago at Stall one day, but no, that's the first time. Every now and then you think you're going to get close when you get the first couple, and then it drops away pretty quick. But no, and it's a nice little feather to have in the cap.
Mate, it's like the hole-in-one in golf, they say, for our great game. Look, mate, we told punters it was no fluke on social media, and look, that's underlined by the fact that effort puts you actually in the lead amongst thousands of your peers in the media. We've got punters on the site, we've got pro punters, and you're the head of the pack, mate, with 73% profit on turnover for tips placed in 2021. Just can you give punters a bit of an insight into what goes into picking your selections for RSN?
A lot of time. depending on the meeting and how often I've seen the horses, anywhere between sort of 4 to 6 hours of videos and trawling through the form guides. One thing I'm pretty big on is following patterns. Horses that have either run well first, second up, third up, whether it be wet track, synthetic. I like following patterns where horses have run well before, and sometimes that can be quite time consuming, but sometimes you can reap the rewards for it too. So, definitely a lot of videos. I do a lot of note-taking on the Metropolitan races, which helps to bring time down when you're doing form for them. But for some of the country meetings, particularly those where there's a lot of 58s and a lot of different form lines, just trying to rely on, some of the better horses in the race and horses that tend to run true to their form and hold their patterns.
Yeah, okay. And look, as a race caller, obviously, Brendan, you're getting across, you're actually watching more races than probably the average punter. Does that sort of help, that sort of memory retention and recall in addition to the video footage and so forth?
Most definitely. They stick in your mind a little bit better if you've called them before, and you've got, because you've done the form for them previously, you've sort of got that little bit of memory in your brain about what their abilities are and where they like to be in runs. So it certainly does help to have seen them before through the binoculars, that's for sure.
Yeah, interesting. And look, obviously you call the greys, you call the harness races, Brendan. I mean, are you putting the same sort of homework in to say harness and greys as well? I mean, it's a hell of a schedule you got there at RSN doing calls across all three codes. Are you doing the same sort of extensive form for harness and greys?
Not as in depth. Basically, just because of the amount of time it takes, and with a young family and time on the road, I can't do as much as I would like. But the greyhounds, I tend to, it's basically time related for mine, time and track and box draws if they've gone well there before. And at the moment for the trots, I'm really much guided by the market. I'm only doing 1 or 2 trot meetings a month, so it's pretty hard to really delve into the form and try and get a good handle on past performances when that's not at the forefront of your mind. So really guided by the market for the trots, and times and boxes and how they've gone at the track before is what I use mostly for the dogs. Yeah, great, Brendan. Look, you're certainly one of the premier all-rounders in the industry, mate, and certainly punters note that. We certainly note that feedback when we put some of your stats up and so forth, mate. Just one before we let you go. Best feeling, tipping the card a few weeks ago at Ballarat or calling the 2008 Melbourne Cup, mate? Oh, 2008 Melbourne Cup, I think will trump tipping the card any day. That was a feeling that's still with me now. That was a pretty good day. And did well too, mate. I'm sure punters remember it well. Hey, look, Brendan, thanks for sharing those insights, mate. And look, keep up the good work, mate. Certainly great fan base building out there, and all the best to you, mate. Thanks very much, Damian.
So, Mike, a lot of feedback that we get from punters who follow other punters who win is, how painful is it to follow them? Right? I mean, like, how easy is it to follow? How often do they win?
I get it.
Yeah.
How often do you follow someone's tips? You take their first 3 tips. You go, here's a dead set mug, I'm off. Turn around, he tips 3 in a row.
That happened to you just very recently.
This afternoon.
So yeah, that's the idea, and I think the opportunity is, of course, we've got all the data, is to tell punters what they're going to get. Okay, so they might be making money, but how long do I have to wait for that elusive winner? And so what we wanted to do is introduce this concept of followability. How followable are they? Or how long do I have to wait to find my winners?
Love it.
So look, we're just going to show you 4 tipsters here who are doing pretty well. There's Brendan Delaney, Peter McCormack and Kobe O'Brien, who are on our last program, having a very, very good year. And Craig Sant, who's a Northern Territory race caller, greys, horses and so forth. Now, all going very well. You can see their profit on turnover there, which is showing there for 180 days. And their average prices vary. Now, if you look at their strike rate, and a lot of people will say, just look at their strike rate, because that'll tell you how often they tip, and that's true. So we look at that, and we've got roughly 1 in 5 for Peter and Kobe, 1 in 5 winners.
Yep.
And we've got 2 in 5 winners for Brendan and Craig.
Yeah.
Okay? Nice and easy. The thing with that is that they might have outs, so those losses might be all bunched together and so forth. So yeah, the person's still waiting. So we've got another factor that we use, which is called your win days.
Yep.
So we actually look at the day of tipping and say, was that a winning day, a profitable day? And we see how long you got to wait for a winning day. So we've just got the same guys there, and we're having a look now at their winning days, and we're looking at Peter and seeing that 1 in 2, not bad.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I'd be
I'd be happy to have 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Be happy to have 1 and 3, 1 and 4. But the interesting thing here is that you had like Kobe, who had 1 in 5 winning tips, just like Peter.
Yeah.
But when you look at his winning days, he's almost every day. So
he's just just getting over break even, making a profit at least.
well, he's making a profit. But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with it is that
Even on the bad days, though, right?
yeah, he's making a profit pretty much every day. He's probably missed 1 or 2 or 3 days. I'm not sure what the sample size is. Oh, it's quite extensive, but what the actual number is. So basically, you're not waiting. You're getting a winning day pretty much every day using history with Kobe, Brendan, and Craig, and you're getting 1 in 2 with Peter.
Moral of the story: keep following.
Well,
Don't drop off.
Look out for this followability factor. You're going to see it more and more on thegreattipoff.com.
Yep.
And you're going to see more and more in our social media messages that we put out.
Fantastic.
All right.
Look forward to it.
So, middle of the year, Mike, we're going to look at the Race for Australia's horse racing tipster of the year. We've got all the data. We've got the punters, we've got the pros, we've got the media experts. Let's see who's top 5 at the halfway mark.
Brendan Delaney.
Brendan Delaney, here he is. So here's an interesting thing, Mike. 73% pot halfway through 2021.
Yep.
Brendan Delaney makes a profit in 2020. Horse racing we're talking about, of course. And he makes a profit in 2019.
Too good.
So he's well on his way to 3 profitable years in a row. Reckon he knows what he's doing?
Yeah, he's all over it.
He is all over it. So not just a great race caller. Peter McCormack, remember him?
I certainly do.
Yeah.
WA.
Loved him when we reviewed him
Big fan.
on show 9.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
And he can find a good price winner as well.
He gets
Someone to follow.
$8.65.
Especially late in the Saturday afternoon when you've done your ass. So
Flick over the WA races, look for Peter McCormack's tips.
absolutely.
Jamie Martin from the West Australian newspaper did a bit of digging on him, and look, Jamie's the fill-in tipster. So old mate's been on the Terps last night and doesn't turn up, and that's not you, Jay Rooney. I'm not saying it's you, mate. But one of the band of the WA newspaper tipsters calls in sick. Jamie comes in, or if there's someone on holidays. Have a go at this.
Oh, well, you'll be set for life once he wins this. So.
He's 3rd in the race.
Off you go.
He's got to get a gig after that, doesn't he? Miles Fitzner, SEN track.
Another SEN boy.
Yeah,
Good
look,
stuff.
they're popping up everywhere, so certainly know what they're talking about over there. And look, there's your top 5. We had a pro punter there from the site in 5th place. So, look, we've got to do it. Who's winning the race at the halfway mark, media versus punters?
Let's do it.
Let's have a look at the stats. And here we go. We've got a few extra names there on the left who are making up the punters. Cash profit is almost double. When you look at the tips are almost double. Pot's just about there. Have to give it to the punters.
Punters win again.
Punters are in front. So
Something for the battlers.
I think the media is really going to have to think about that. We will be here in 6 months' time announcing the who's going to win it. As a punters versus media in 2021.
Outstanding.
So that will certainly get a bit of banter, I would imagine.
Without a doubt, yeah. A few blokes out of a job there, I reckon.
Could be. And there ends another show of Tipster. Mike, what do you think? How'd we go?
Yeah, we're flying, as usual.
Is this
good to be back.
Logie performance or whatever you said last time?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, something like that. What do you reckon, hero of the week, Mike? I think I got one for both of us this week.
What do you got?
Can I throw it out there?
Yeah, do it. All yours.
Well, we looked at Brendan Delaney. He got tipped the card. Got them all right at Ballarat. 9 races at Eagle Farm last Saturday. Joel Marshall, best bets. I mean,
what's he done?
He's tipped 8 out of 9.
Flying.
And you just got to see some of these prices. Double digits. There's some short ones in there and so forth. He's just gone nuts. So got to mention to a good bunch of guys at best bets.
Yep.
Joel Marshall, look, We don't see him too much in social media. Probably have to rally behind him and get him to get a social media account.
Get around it, Joel.
He knows what he's doing. He certainly knows what he's doing, Joel, and there's a lot of fans out there.
And he's your hero of the week.
Hero of the week. Got to be hero of the week.
Well, send him a trophy for that, I reckon.
Yeah, look, we could do that. We could get it. If we know he's going to put on the mantelpiece like Kobe O'Brien did last week, put in the pool room.
As you do.
We'll certainly arrange that. So there's the hero of the week. That leads us on to Mick's Moral.
Yes.
What's happening there, Mick?
Going to head to Flemington, race 4, number 1 at Royal Zell. I guess it's 1,600 metres.
The toppy.
Best horse in the race by a long way. Gets Craig Williams. He rides well in July. And, it'll be winning.
Have you backed it already?
Yeah.
Because you know the price is going to just drop as soon as you mention it, right?
Without a doubt.
The following is just massive. How's that Twitter account going?
Oh, airborne. Yeah, no, we're low flying. Also, don't forget Friday morning. Yeah, on the Punters panel. Yeah, so be sure to tune into that.
Yep.
Myself, Dean Watling, joined by Simon Donopoulos.
Oh, Simon.
And obviously under the tutelage of one Dave Stanley. So that'll be fantastic. So,
Muns will be on there too, won't he?
Oh, maybe.
Is he on holidays?
He's probably on holidays. Probably
He's always on holidays, Muns.
living the dream.
He's probably on a golf course somewhere.
Sinking a Peroni.
He can't be. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
He can golf at the moment.
Yeah, Dave. So Dave's got you on. Jeez, he must be hard up for guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, folks, don't forget, press the button down here on the YouTube page and you'll be notified as soon as this show drops. Give us your comments, come to the site, be part of the action, free to join, free to tip, become a star, and get mentioned on the program, sell your tips, get people hot betting, all that sort of great stuff. Join the fun. Until next time, all the best.
Good
Sign
punting.
off, Mike. Good punting. We'll see you soon.